Hello, ladies. Hi. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday, noontime. I hope everyone's doing great, having a good start to the week. It's hump day. I'm chilling here in my special comfy chair for our relaxed real talk session today about overcoming fear. I'm super excited to have you guys here. I can't wait to have this conversation with you. So if you're just joining, look, I've got this like funky little bun on the top of my head. If you're just joining right now, give me some hearts, give me some likes, say what's up. Go ahead and comment over on the side. Let us know where you're watching in from. Tell us, where are you? What part of the world are you in? I always love seeing like the globalness of our group. So pop in and say hi over in the chat. Just let me know. Be like, hey, what's up, Jess? I'm watching from Switzerland or Ireland or wherever it is that you might be from. And let me know what's up and give me some of those hearts and likes. And I'm super excited to be having this conversation with you guys today. This is the first video, the first live Real Talk that we're going to be doing in a series of Real Talks over the next couple of weeks about fear and overcoming our fear. Yes. It's one of the things that I hear most commonly from the women in our tribe is dealing with the different forms that fear takes in our life. So today we're going to be talking about the fear of making mistakes. But as we wait, as we warm up and get more people to join, go ahead and put in the comments on the side. Let us know where you're watching from and what brought you here today. I'd love to know, what are you here to get out of this live? What are you looking for? What are you hoping to learn or wanting to share? Why are you watching? Hi, Janine. Hi, Annabella, my beauties. Belma. Hi, Belma. And Catherine. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy that you're here. I can't wait to have this conversation with you. I've got Annabella and Janine from our Worth to Wealth group. What? And then we have Belma, one of my beautiful, amazing private clients. She's absolutely inspirational. So I'm super excited already that you guys are here. And Catherine and I have known each other for a long time. And I've seen her really make some big moves. So I'm happy you ladies are here. Thank you for joining. Just waiting for other people to come on board and get ready to get involved in this conversation around fear. That's right. Fear. It's one of the biggest things that we experience as business owners and entrepreneurs is seeing our feeling our fear, and then deciding what to do about it, letting it trap us and paralyze us, or harnessing it and using it for our advantage. So this series that I'm doing over the next few weeks is answering one of the biggest things that I hear coming up in our tribe, which is overcoming fear. We all have different versions of fear, and it all shows up differently for us in our lives. So this is our opportunity to be totally straight up about our fear. So as I'm waiting for a couple more folks to join, if you have never done one of our Real Talks before, if this is your first time hanging out, it's super casual, as you can see. I'm like, got my hair up in a bun, and we do these things just totally off the cuff. And this is an opportunity for you to talk about what's coming up for you in your life, for us to share vulnerably about our experiences with whatever the topic is. So that means I'm going to be vulnerable and sharing, and then I encourage you guys to do the same. This is a safe place. This is only broadcast here in the Worthy Women group. So it's just for this tribe. And I want you to know that you can use this as an opportunity to get support from your sisters, because we are oftentimes alone when it comes to building our businesses, right? Give me some thumbs up if you spend most of your time in your business alone, working throughout the day, trying to figure things out by yourself. Most of us, when we're starting, we don't have teams, and maybe our husbands or significant others really try their best to support us through the stuff that we're going through, but they don't always get it. We love them, but they just don't always get it. Yeah, so I'm seeing lots of likes, lots of hearts. Thank you guys. I love the likes and hearts. It helps me know that you're watching and what it is that I'm saying that resonates. So thank you for those. Sarah, hi Sarah, you made it. Sarah's going to be joining the next round of Worth to Wealth that starts in April. So I'm so excited to have so many from the tribe here. Awesome. So Today's Real Talk is all about overcoming the fear of making mistakes. Who here, I'd love to know from hearts, and you can also put this in the comment, who here has a fear of making mistakes in their business, but also in life, but who here has that fear of making a mistake? That experience of sitting down to do something, or maybe even just thinking about doing something, and then having this experience, this emotional experience of being like, what if I make a mistake? What if I mess up? What if I let myself down? What if I do the wrong thing, make the wrong choice, the wrong decision? What if I make a mistake? Who here has experiences that? Who sits down to the computer, has a call, thinks about starting something or doing something and has that? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of hearts, lots of likes. Annabella says yes, yes, awesome. So I have that too. I think we all maybe have that to some degree. I want to start by sharing a quick story about making mistakes, because I teased this a little bit in the post that I wrote before I went live this morning, but sometimes the fear of mistakes come true, and it's the coming true of the mistake I think that we actually are afraid of. It's not that we'll make a decision, it's the outcome of what that decision is, right? So we have this fear that if you take this action, or if you make this choice, that there will be some sort of irreversible, irrevocable terror, disaster that happens on the other side. And then we're left holding the bag and trying to figure out what to do. And we feel like maybe there's some shame or pain that's going to come up with it. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of hearts and likes. Yeah, totally. Fear of not meeting your own expectations, says Janine. Yeah, I feel that too. There's a total fear of that. And when you have a fear of making mistakes, that can play into your expectations. You know, if I make a choice and then that choice is a mistake, then I will not meet whatever expectations I have for myself or agreements that I've created for myself. So I want to talk to you about a mistake that I've recently made. And this is edgy for me to talk about it because it literally just happened last night. And what happened is a very expensive mistake. So I am not the best at business administration. Full disclosure, I hate business admin stuff, taxes, legal, finances, accounting. I have to make myself do those things. It's not easy or natural for me. Anybody else feel that way about business admin? Anybody, put in the comments, do you love business admin? Do you hate business admin? Is it one of those things that's kind of like a green monster in your closet? Well, for me, it is. Well, I have an old business that I was running. It's called the Coach Academy. And under the Coach Academy, we had an LLC and it's been operating. Well, recently, last night, I went to check in my bank account, and it turns out that the state of California Employee Development Department has put a hold on some funds in my account because they say that I haven't paid payroll tax. Well, I don't have any employees in that business, but apparently I made a mistake that I was supposed to be filing a zero balance quarterly, that I don't have any employees, but I was kind of burying my head in the sand around it, and I made a mistake and I didn't do it. And so now they make up a fictitious number and they're like, rah, and they grab that money out of my account and they're holding it hostage until I fix it, which I am fixing it today. So you can imagine my shock as I am sitting in bed watching, preparing for the next day, doing a little bit of content creation for Worth to Wealth. And I decide I'm going to pop in and check on my bank account. And there I see this hold and I'm like, what is this? So what did I do? I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I didn't do something that I probably needed to do in my business. I thought it didn't apply to me. It did. And so now I have to clean it up. So I wanted to share this story for you because this was an expensive it's a very expensive mistake. It's an incredibly costly mistake. And I could have looked at this and freaked out. And to be honest, when it first happened, I was totally panicking. I was sitting in my bed. I had that experience of blood rushing to my face and simultaneously dropping out of my gut. Do you guys have that experience when you feel like you've done something wrong? If you have, put it at No Green Monster. Good for you, Sarah. Yeah, if you have felt that experience of mistake, I'd love to know what it feels like for you when you realize you've made a mistake. What does it feel like in your body? For me, when that happened last night, the feeling was a gut drop sensation, and then also, oh, look who's here. Look who's here. It's my little mascot, Leo. And then also this experience of my face getting really hot, my mouth got dry, and my heart started beating and pounding out of my chest. My armpits started to sweat. And I was just, my thoughts just kind of had this combination of first like zooming out and blanking and going black and dark. And then all of a sudden, just a swirl and a frenzy of words coming across my mind and a sense of total panic. And it's a complete amygdala hijack. Sorry, I just dropped my phone. It's a complete amygdala hijack when that happens. Like, you're in total fight or flight mode. There's no real critical thinking or higher level self involved in those moments. And that's totally what happened to me. My animal brain, my monkey mind was like full on. But I was able, through this practice I'm going to teach you guys today, and I want to hear what your practices are too, but I was able to get over it and wake up this morning actually feeling really powerful and okay. So I share this story with you guys because mistakes, even when they come true, they can be cleaned up. And also, part of the reason why they're so hard to deal with, at least in my experience, is because there is this total sense of shutdown. And then we don't really know what to do in those moments when we're completely shut down. Lily says, yeah, tell me about it. Gut drop and shame, says Kathy. Pounding heart, says Janine. Yeah, those are all of the same things that I experienced too. So I want to know from you. I mean, I have a few things that I'm afraid of making mistakes about, and I'll share them with you now. But now that we sort of talked about that opening story, I want to know, what are you feeling afraid to make a mistake about right now in your business? There's something that you are not doing because you're afraid that you're going to mess it up. I want to know what that is for you. I'm curious. So go ahead and put in the comments right now what it is that you're afraid of making a mistake about. Is it something to do with a decision in how to market your business? Is it around picking your ideal client or designing a product or service? Maybe it's about hiring somebody or allocating funds and investing in something that you feel like might help you and you're afraid that you'll make the wrong decision. Or perhaps it's in sales calls or even with your family and talking about what you need and what your vision is with the people who are close to you in your life. So tell me, put it in the comments now. What are you afraid of right now? What are you worried about making a mistake about? It's okay. You can be honest. I'll tell you what I'm afraid of making a mistake about. Annabella says, my Facebook Live, I'm ready to go. I just can't seem to press the button. Thank you for your honesty about that, Annabella. Annabella's doing our my Worth to Wealth program, and today they're being tasked with doing their first Facebook Live. So I appreciate you speaking that out, Annabella. What about for the rest of you guys watching? What are you afraid of making a mistake about? For me, one of the things that I get afraid right now as I'm scaling my business is around hiring the wrong people. That's a big thing that's present for me right now, is making the mistakes and investing in talent or resources that are not what I really need, and then feeling wasting time because of it, or money because of it. That's something that I'm afraid of. I also am afraid of making a mistake in saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing in this community. That comes up for me a lot. I don't want to, do something that's going to upset people or that's going to make people angry or judge me, which is part of me dealing with my deep fear of wanting to be liked and being a people pleaser. But I get afraid of making mistakes with this space and with this tribe all the time. So Lily says, what people will think of her. So Sarah says, putting herself out there, saying the wrong thing. Janine is afraid of failing her exams. Catherine says that she's afraid of going to Tallinn or not so much doing the wrong thing, but saying the wrong thing. Yeah, for me, there is a sense that the words and saying the wrong thing, it seems we all have the same problems. Yeah, we do all have the same problems, but the thing is we don't talk about it. So we sit around with these fears and then we don't really express it, and we try to white knuckle our way through figuring it out, and it just never works. So for me, I have a fear, especially of saying the wrong thing or making the wrong decision, especially around hiring right now. Like I said, with this community, sometimes in sales conversations that comes up for me too. And then also, as I've been building out my Worth to Wealth program, I have to make decisions all the time about how to serve the group. And sometimes I'm wondering, am I pushing too hard? Am I not pushing enough? Is the content helpful? Do I need to give more or less? So there's that fear of, what if I'm not serving powerfully? If I make a mistake in my client interactions and I do something that doesn't satisfy the people that I work with. I also have a fear of making mistakes in my relationships. So it's not just the mistakes in the business, it's the mistakes in other parts of our lives that show up here in this space too. So Kathy says, starting with paying clients and letting them down or being judged. Yeah, there's a fear that if you take on a client and you make the wrong proposal, or you offer the wrong thing, or you say something in the session that doesn't resonate or doesn't work, then they're going to reject you and then they're going to judge you. So there's this fear of making a mistake shows up in all different ways. And as we can see here in the comments, there's a lot of commonality. So can we just take a moment for those of us watching to give some love, just some hearts to everybody here who's feeling this fear, and just show your sisters some love to let us know, like, we see you, I'm with you, I'm here next to you in this experience, sister. You're not alone in this feeling. So let's give ourselves some hearts, some love. Just be like, I got you, girl. I see you. I love you. Like, I feel you. My heart feels your heart in this. Yeah, I love the hearts, guys. Yes. So much support and sisterhood here, which is one of the reasons why we have this tribe, so that we can have that support and talk about these things openly. But where does this fear of making mistakes really come from? You know, like most things, there's the symptom and then there's the root cause. So for most of us, the symptom around the fear of making mistakes is inaction, right? If you're afraid of making a mistake, then it typically shows up in the experience of not doing in your business, of not saying something, of not reaching out to someone, of not launching something, right? So that's what typically comes forward in the fear of making mistakes. Leo, get down. Off, good boy. But there's something underneath that that's actually a lot more insidious. It's not just a fear of making the wrong decision, because we make decisions all the time, like where to go to dinner, or what to wear in the morning, or maybe where you want to go on vacation. But for some reason, we're not afraid as much of making those mistakes, right? So what I've learned about this fear is that there's a degree of feeling associated with it. When it seems as though there's more personal identity on the line, then the stakes get higher and the fear gets bigger. Do you guys feel that too? Give me some hearts or likes and tell me if that resonates with you right now. Do you feel as though your fear of making mistakes sort of shifts depending on what it means about yourself. Because if I choose to wear an outfit to a party and everybody's more dressed up than I am, that's kind of like a mild mistake, and I can get over it pretty quickly. But if it's something that's more about my worthiness, my value, my significance, or my meaning and importance, now shit gets real. Now I'm definitely going to get paralyzed. Kathy says, yes. Starting, yeah, and yes, feeling like your business reflects your value as a person. See, that's the thing, guys. The fear of making mistakes isn't about choosing to do something and then not being able to clean it up. Because logically, when we bring our logical minds on board, we think, okay, well, if I post that thing and nobody responds to it, or if I launch this thing and nobody buys it, then there's more that I can do. I know that there are other alternatives, but our emotional self just doesn't play that game. It doesn't think that way. It doesn't be that way. And instead, your emotional self says, oh my God, if I screw this up, then I'm a total failure, which means that I can't trust myself to make decisions and I must not be good enough. So this fear of making mistakes is actually rooted in the belief that we're not enough. The belief that if I do something and it doesn't work out the way that I intend, then that means something about me, my ability, my natural instincts. And then I don't think that I'm good enough. I don't think that I'm worthy enough. I don't think my intuition is good enough. I don't think my idea is good enough. I don't think that my actions are good enough. And as a result, you become paralyzed because now your enoughness is associated with this action. And so it makes sense that we get totally freaking paralyzed. And sometimes it's because we lack a skill. Sometimes because we feel like we don't have enough experience. But when you feel that sense of not being enough, then the mistake no longer just feels like a blip on the radar. It feels like a catastrophic possibility. And we do something called we do this thing called catastrophic thinking. Has anybody heard of this before? If you haven't, who has heard of catastrophic thinking? Give me a heart or a thumbs up or a like if you've heard of catastrophic thinking. If you haven't, yeah, Yulia says, yeah. Lily says, that's it. Kathy says, totally. If you haven't heard of catastrophic thinking before, then let me explain to you what this is. Catastrophic thinking is the experience of going from 0 to 60, from going from this place of reality and centeredness to being totally off the grid in a land of complete disaster like that. And here's how we get into catastrophic thinking around the mistakes that we are perceiving that we might make. It comes from this process of walking up the ladder of inference. I learned about the ladder of inference when I was in grad school, and it's probably one of my favorite tools. And essentially, you can think about your decision making as though you're walking up a ladder. And the way the ladder of inference works is that we start with one inference or assumption, which is the bottom rung of the ladder. And then we begin to build additional assumptions on top of that original assumption. And that gets us higher and higher and higher and higher off. Look, my dog wants to play with me so bad, you guys. He's like, play with me. That assumption, that assumption making and inference making helps us walk up higher and higher and higher until we're up at the top of this ladder, clinging on for dear life, looking down at the ground below, being like, holy shit. And we feel like if we make any wrong move, we're gonna just fall, crash, burn, die. So that's the ladder of inference. That's how we end up in this place of catastrophic thinking and this belief that we're going to make moves that are basically, undoable. So what do you guys think of that concept of the ladder of inference? Do you like that? Do you like that? Give me some hearts and likes. Is that helpful for you to understand how you get to that place around mistakes and that fear and how it builds? Is because there's one assumption. The assumption is, well, I can't, let's say that you have a fear of saying the wrong thing at a networking event. So then the first thought that you have is that, okay, I'm going to walk into the room and someone's going to ask me what I do. And then after somebody asks me what I do, then I'm going to have a moment of pause. And then in that moment of pause, they're going to look at me strange. And then when they look at me strange, I'm going to get nervous. And then when I get nervous, I'm not going to be able to get anything out of my mouth other than I'm a coach or I'm a therapist. And then they're just going to look at me with a blank stare, and they're going to say that they have to go get another glass of wine, and I'm going to be left standing alone, and it's going to be totally awkward, and I'm just going to want to leave. You see how like that process escalates? That's the ladder of inference and action. So at the bottom of that, though, at the very bottom, before even the first rung, is that core belief of worthiness. That's the foundation that the ladder sits on. So if there's a sense of not being worthy, then your brain is automatically going to start making assumptions and creating inferences that support that belief, which is what allows you to escalate so quickly into that paralyzing fear at the top of the ladder in your mind, and why you never move. But when you can train your mind to believe that you're worthy, and you can change that belief to believe that you're worthy, then the first assumption that you make is, oh, I'm going to press the live button on this Facebook Live, and it's going to feel totally natural. And then after that, people are going to join. And even if they don't join, I'm just going to start speaking, and I'm going to have a lot of interesting things to say. And maybe I'll script it, maybe I won't, but I'll figure it out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that ladder can change. So the assumptions the rungs on the ladder are neutral. They can be a ladder of negative escalation or a ladder of positive escalation. Both of them are assumptions because we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. Control is an illusion. But if we have a belief that we're worthy that's rooted at the bottom of that ladder, then we can have positive associations and make positive inferences, which means that we show up in a different way, which means we actually put out a different vibration, which means we attract different things, which means we actually make better decisions and have more outcomes that are aligned with our desires. Isn't that amazing? That's how it actually works. But when you're stuck in negative thinking and in a belief of not worthiness, then you tend to make more decisions that are from a place of lack and scarcity and protection as you walk up that ladder of inference. And then the next thing you know, you're paralyzed in fear and you're not taking action in your work. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. I do it too, by the way. I do that too. And that's one of the reasons why I do RTT on myself and why I make it a core pillar of Worth to Wealth, because you can't take action if your actions are coming from an unhealthy place. And I'm actually going to do a video about healthy versus unhealthy action as sort of part of this series here too. We'll talk about that later. So stay tuned for that. So I'm just going to check in here. Leo is happy and with his Chewy toy. Yes, my hands right now seem to be the main Chewy toy. I should have put him in his crate before this, but oh well. Okay, so a whole movie. Yeah, says Marley. I feel like people with anxiety do that a lot. Yeah, it's definitely true. That's what I call spin cycle. And actually, I think that there's an epidemic with anxiety in women entrepreneurs these days. I think that there's a real problem with it, and partly because we don't have the tools that we need in order to slow our minds down, which is one of the reasons why I love RTT and coaching so much for women entrepreneurs. So that's what I see in this whole experience. So let's talk about what happens when you're in that place of fear and you want to get back down. Because you're like, right now, you're like, okay, I get it. I understand how I got there, but what do I do when I get at the top of the ladder of inference? What do I do when I have that fear and I want to break through it? How do I overcome it around this fear of making mistakes or fear of failure? And I hear that thing all the time. People say, I have clients or like people that I talk to on sales calls and coaching calls, and they tell me, well, I'm not afraid of, like, I believe in myself. I'm just afraid of failing. I'm afraid of failing. I'm like, wait, well, how do you believe in yourself and you're afraid of failing? Like, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, so Annabella says, as a result of RTT and also Worth to Wealth, I am so much less fearful, but there are always areas to work on. I love that, Annabella. You've made some incredible strides. And that's one of the reasons why I see in Worth to Wealth, everybody is consistently raising their rates and getting themselves out there and doing new things and pushing edges, because we're getting to the root cause behind why we stay stuck in our business, because your actions in your business are not in and of themselves isolated. They come from a different place. They come from this worthiness issue. So how do we get down the ladder of inference? Well, the way that we walk back down, if you're up at the top of the ladder, and the way that you get yourself down off of the top of the ladder is to start by looking for evidence and focusing on the facts. So let's say that you have a fear of doing Facebook Live. Okay, you have a fear of going live on Facebook and making a mistake and going blank. That's what's actually an issue that one of the members of our Worth to Wealth group had yesterday. She was like, oh, I'm really afraid that I'm going to get on a Facebook Live and I'm going to start talking and I'm just going to totally deadpan, go blank. So what you actually can do in those moments when you're at the top is start to look for evidence and facts that take you back down the ladder. So if you have a fear of making a mistake about a Facebook Live, the first thing that you want to do is just start by saying, okay, well, what are the facts here about doing a Facebook Live? Well, here's a fact. I'm good at thinking on my feet. I do it all the time. Okay, there's a fact. Whew, one step down on the ladder. Okay, here's another fact about Facebook Lives. If I don't like the video, I can delete it. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Take another step down the ladder. Here's another fact about Facebook Lives. It's recorded, so I can decide if I want people to see the recording or not. Okay, cool. So you can keep walking yourself down the ladder until you come back to the ground and you're feeling grounded again, and you can say, okay, whew, now I'm back in a space of reality and I can make decisions that are aligned with my healthy self, not my fearful survivor self. So that's how that works. What do you guys think about that? I love to know from you. What do you think you might be doing right now to help yourself walk down the ladder of inference? Give me some likes, give me some hearts. Are you into this idea of the ladder of inference? Do you like this? Is this helpful, this technique? It's just one technique that you can use to help yourself come down when you're in that place of having a fear of making a mistake. My dog is now trying to attack my computer. He really needs to go on a walk, you guys. Leo, why are you being a terror? He just gave me the cutest face. It's really not, shouldn't be legal. You want to see him? Look, this is the terror who keeps on trying to attack me. He's adorable. He's adorable. He makes himself look cute, but in reality, he's just nothing but a distraction. Okay, so that's a great way to approach it. Thank you, says Annabella. Great. Marley says, Facebook Live is also not live. Well, Facebook Live is, every Facebook Live you do is actually recorded. If you have a business page, you can do Facebook Lives that are recorded as well. You can pre-record it and then have it look like it's going live. But your Facebook Live is actually recorded every time you do one. It's recorded for people to watch later. Great idea, says Sarah. Awesome. Dina says, so cute. So cute with sharp fangs. So cute with sharp fangs, Dina. So there's another concept that might be helpful for you when it comes to overcoming this fear of making mistakes that I want to share with you. And this is more of a reframe, because part of get off, sit, good boy. So part of what comes up, part of what comes up with this fear of making a mistake is this belief that it's, I don't know, somehow within our control, that all of this is somehow within our control, but it's really not. None of this is within our control. So the fact that we even think about mistakes means that we believe that there is a right and a wrong, but there is no such thing. There is no such thing. To get meta with you guys about it, like, there is no right or wrong. There is only an action or inaction. That's it. There's no right or wrong. It's just action or inaction. Off. So when you have this fear, the first thing to recognize is that there is no wrong. There is no wrong here. There is no right. There is no wrong. And with that, life and your business, it's kind of like a movie, right? You think about a movie. If you knew every single outcome, if you knew every single thing that the characters would do, it would be super boring to watch, unless it's a movie that you like to rewatch. But you know what I'm saying, right? What makes life interesting and exciting is the fact that we cannot predict everything. If we could, then life would be miserably boring and probably not really much worth living, in my opinion. I like the excitement and the adventure that is life. I like the unknown, that part of it. I enjoy being surprised, happily. And even when it's not easy, I would rather have the ebb and flow and adventure of life than a predictable, monotonous life in which there is no excitement. Anybody else feel me on that? Give me a like or a heart if you agree. Would you rather have a life that, everything is, everything before it's going to happen? Or would you rather have a life where there's adventure and there's mystery? I want a little mystery in my life, but we can't have it both ways. We can't have the mystery in some ways and not have it in other ways, right? So we want our cake and we want to eat it too. What's helped me recently with this idea of mistakes is, first of all, there is no mistakes, because all there is learning. So that's the first opportunity for you, is to say a mistake is not a mistake. It's just more information. That's it. Oh, didn't work. I've started reframing mistakes as plot twists. So if you think about a movie, right? The characters are moving along about their daily life. They're making decisions. Things are happening. And then all of a sudden, whoa, plot twist. Oh my gosh. The person didn't do what you thought that they were going to do. That guy loves this girl. There's a bomb in the building. Whatever it is, there's a plot twist. It's like, oh shit, plot twist. That's what mistakes really are. They're plot twists. You're going about your day, you're making decisions, you take an action, you make a choice, and then, holy shit, didn't go the way that I thought. Plot twist. If you can find a way to bring a little bit of levity and lightness into the experience of making decisions, then you can let go of some of that constriction and contraction that you have around making mistakes. So with my thing that happened last night around the hold on some of my funds in my account, at first I freaked out, totally. Then I calmed myself down and I realized, I was like, oh, it's a fucking plot twist. Plot twist. Okay, cool. Where's the story gonna go now? This is another opportunity for me to see where this story goes next. What do I want the story to be next? And so this morning I woke up and I just cleaned it up. I handled it. Because just like a movie, it keeps going. Movies don't end at that moment. They don't stop. There's no, elimination or termination. There's a shift. And it's just an energetic shift that's happening in that moment. You thought your energy was going this way. And then all of a sudden something shows up. It's like a rock in the river, and it's asks that energy to part. It asks that energy to flow in a different direction, and you move with it. So when I had that happen this morning, I woke up and I was like, it's just a plot twist. All right, now I got to move. Now I'm going in a little different direction than I thought I would be this morning, but I'm going to handle it. And I did. And everything was fine. Everything's going to work out. I actually have had experiences in my business of launching products and programs that nobody bought. I've done it. Does anybody have that fear of making a mistake, trying to launch something, feeling they would make a mistake launching something in their business and that no one will buy it? Give me some hearts. Give me some likes, yeses or nos. Yeah. I do that with myself, says Kathy. Physical feeling says, yeah. Paralyzing. So true. The puppy is taking lots of action. He is taking lots of action, Sarah. He is a very action-oriented little fellow this morning. So yeah, you guys have this fear of launching something and not doing it right and making a mistake. So do I. I'm actually just opening enrollment for the next round of Worth to Wealth, and I'm extending invitations to a few people before I open it more broadly. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but I always have a fear. Every single time I go into one of these things, I'm like, ooh, what if I say it the wrong way? Or what if I do this the wrong way? So instead of having that experience of launching something, and let's say nobody shows up, and there are things that you can learn in order to make sure that that is less likely to happen. But in the beginnings, especially if you're not getting help and you're trying to figure it out by yourself, no, that's something that we do in the beginning. That's what I did. I thought I could figure it all out myself. I was like, I don't need to hire people, and I don't need to hire coaches, and I don't need to be told. I can read it all online, and I can figure it out myself. There's enough free stuff out there. Well, that didn't work out. So I launched a program called Website in a Weekend. I put it out there on my social media channels, and not a damn person bought it. A plot twist. I had to come up with a different way of getting that product out there. And I did. It took a little longer than I thought it would. It didn't happen the way that I expected it to, but I ended up getting people enrolled in it. And we had a great experience with those people. And I decided not to do it again because it was a fun thing to think about doing, but then I tried it and I didn't want to do it again. So there's another plot twist for you. Sometimes we think that what we're doing is going to be the thing we do forever, and it's not. I've built other group programs that I've run, filled multiple times, and then decided I don't want to do it like that anymore. I want to do something different. So your mistakes are not mistakes. It's not really true. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is no good. There is no bad. All there is learning. It's just a plot twist. It's a bend in the river. It's a rock that gets exposed that you weren't expecting. It's a bump in the road. I know that these are all metaphors you've heard before, but if you can kind of look at these experiences in your life and think, plot twist, oh shit, what's going to happen next? Then you can maybe give yourself a little bit of space and grace to move through it without getting hung up on what it means about you, because it doesn't mean anything about you. What you do in response to the plot twist is what matters. The plot twist itself isn't the problem. It's who you are being and how you are choosing to show up for yourself that makes the difference. When I went broke in Salamanca in Spain, you guys have heard me tell that story. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Go back and watch some of our original Real Talk series to learn about that. It was a freaking plot twist. And in that moment, the twist itself isn't what mattered. It was what I chose to do and who I chose to be in that moment that mattered. And that's the same thing for you. And the thing that helps us more than anything get over this fear is the habit of action. You hear me talk about action all the time because action is the lifeblood of business. The more consistently you are in action, that means the more consistently you're probably going to have plot twists in your business. And then you start to build that muscle of managing the plot twists. Over time, that part of you becomes stronger, more resourced, and shows up more effortlessly and automatically versus having to kind of pull it forward, because these things happen. I think it's Facebook, their motto is move fast and break things. That's basically saying make as many mistakes as possible, as quickly as possible, so that we can get to the end result as quickly as we can. Your business is nothing more than a giant experiment, and experiments are fraught with yeses and nos and learnings and twists and turns. And if you consider yourself like a scientist in your business or like a movie director or a writer in your business, then you wouldn't see anything that happens as good or bad. You would just be curious about it and then make decisions based on whatever information you had, right? If you're a scientist in your business, you wouldn't be like, oh no! You would just say, oh, wow, well, that didn't do what I expected it to do. It actually did this. So what would happen if instead I made this thing happen? Okay. It's kind of like pulling all these levers and pressing all of these buttons. But that part of you gets activated. That part of you, that curious, detached part of you becomes activated through the experience of acting consistently and having more plot twists. So my invitation to you is that if you really want to overcome this fear of making mistakes, is to make more of them. I know it seems counterintuitive. Go out and do the stuff that you think that if you do is going to totally screw you up. My coach, actually, at one point I was having this total block around sales. I told the Work to Wealth ladies this yesterday in our group call. I was like, my coach at one point told me I was having this block, and I was like, I'm afraid of doing my sales wrong, of being pushy, of I don't know, people feeling I was too aggressive or all this stuff. And he was like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out onto your sales call. I had 5 sales calls scheduled that week. And I was like, I want you to go to every single one of these calls. And what I want you to do is to fuck it up. Do everything that you think you should do wrong, do it wrong. Be pushy, be aggressive, pitch, talk about your price before you've explained the program, push them. Get in their face, do all the things that you think you're not supposed to do. Stumble, bumble, don't ask any questions, do all that stuff. I was so scared to do it. But I took his advice and I was like, you know what? I might lose these 5 sales, but it's more important for me to get over this crap that's keeping me stuck than anything else. And I did it. And I was pushy and I was aggressive and I was confrontational. I even told a woman that she was weak. And guess what happened? Of those 5 sales calls, I still made 2 sales and I got a referral. What? So if that goes to show you anything, your mistakes are really not what we think they're going to be. So I'd love to know from you guys right now who are watching, is this resonating? Are you feeling it? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you into this idea of embracing the experience of creating more plot twists in your life, allowing them to happen? Because the more you have those plot twists, the easier it becomes for you to build that muscle to become more resilient. Because that's what it is. We're talking about resiliency here. Things shift and move, and then you have the ability to move and shift with them. That's not something that you just do. It takes practice to get there. And the only way that happens is by seeing these things not as devastating, life-altering, or ending experiences, but rather just little blips and little turns in the road, little twists that you can learn to navigate with practice. It's an important muscle for you to build, is that muscle of resiliency. And that is all rooted down in that core belief that you are worthy and you are enough. Your resiliency is based on the belief that you have the capacity and the ability to bounce back. And that comes from a feeling of enoughness and a feeling of worthiness. You hear me talk about it all the time. It's the foundation of what we are in this group, is working on our self-worth. So if that's not something that you're approaching right now in your life, now is your opportunity to do that. So I'd love to know from you, what's your big insight and takeaway? Give me your takeaways, guys, from this Real Talk session, and share what else is coming up for you. Like, what comes up for you? Are you feeling anything? I want to hear from you right now. What's present for you as you're watching or listening to this conversation? Tell me, is something stirring inside of you? Is there a feeling? Is there a sense of resistance to this? Is there a question that you have about this? Put it in the comments right now. Go ahead and put those thoughts and those reflections in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're feeling or what you're thinking about right now. That's one of the only things that that annoy me about Facebook Live, is that we can't like talk back and forth. That's why I was thinking about doing this over Zoom. But then it's harder to get the recording and so we're doing it this way instead. So yeah, put it in the comments if you're watching now. Tell me what is your reactions to this? What's coming up? What's stirring for you? I would love to know. So as I wait for those comments to come in, overcoming fear and helping women entrepreneurs overcome fear and claim their enoughness and their worthiness and move into action is one of my greatest passions. And it comes from a place of my own life experiences. And this experience of overcoming fear, I feel, is essential and vital to creating success in your company. And this is one of the primary things that we focus on in Worth to Wealth. In Worth to Wealth, we talk mostly about this deep worthiness, but we also are consistently building this muscle around the habit of action. Because the more you are in the habit of action, the easier it becomes for you to consistently do the things that you know you want and need to do to create the business that you are dreaming of. But if you have these deeper blocks, then it's hard to get into that action. And that's what Worth to Wealth is all about. We actually help you reprogram those deep-seated beliefs around not being enough, around having fear of scarcity and lack. And then we show you how to take those new beliefs and apply them through experiential learning, which means that you're actually making moves in your business every single week that are showing you that you can trust your worthiness, showing you that you are good enough, showing you that you have the best intuition, that you can listen to it and follow through, showing you that you can bounce back and be resilient, and holding you in the space and community with other sisters. So when things don't go your way, when there is a plot twist, we're here to help you build that capacity and that muscle so that you can do it on your own in the future. Because support is everything while you're going through these journeys. If you are not getting the support that you need in order to move through the fear, to see the blind spots that are holding you back, both internally and externally, then it's really difficult to create those capacities and to build that skill within yourself in order to get where you want to be. Sometimes it means working with somebody who's walked the path. Right now, I have a mentor that I work with. Her name is Marisa Murgatroyd. She has a multi-million-dollar online business called Live Your Message, and I love her. She's not only a dear friend of mine, but she's a badass at what she does. I want to get my business to the 7-figure mark this year. In the next 12 months, that's my aim, is to build the foundation so I can keep expanding to that level, to go from 6 to 7 figures. I hired her because she knows how to do it. She's had lots of plot twists in her business, and she's built that resilience and that capacity. And I want to put myself around other people who are looking to do the same thing. And that's what we do in Worth to Wealth. We allow you to surround yourself with other women who are thinking, I want to get to the next level. I want to build that capacity. I want to push that edge. I'm ready to face my fear, and I'm looking for the guidance and the support to get there. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of wishing, and I am ready to start being and doing my life and my business on my terms. So I get really fired up around this because I know that this is what it takes in order to succeed. And I hate watching, I use the hate word, but I am so passionate about helping women see their potential and their possibility. It is, look, I've got balled up fist about it. There's nothing that hurts and breaks my heart more than to watch a woman let these types of fears paralyze her from taking action. This fear of making mistakes and this over-exaggeration of the plot twists and the attachment of self that comes through all of that. There's so much there to untangle and to unpack. And the traditional courses, they don't freaking work. I've done them where you just watch a series of videos that give you all these practical and tactical tools on how to get what you want in your business. We've all done that shit. If you're here, you've probably done that shit. And for some reason, you're not making the money that you want to make. Why? Because you're not taking the actions that you're supposed to take. Why? Because you're afraid of making mistakes. Why? Because you don't believe that you're worthy and that you're enough. And you're living in lack and constriction and constraint. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We grew up with these beliefs. We were given these beliefs by our parents, by our family members, by society. And so now we are here as adults, as women entrepreneurs, pushing these edges and pioneering, and we're thinking to ourselves, holy shit, I've been taught my whole life to be afraid of making mistakes. I've been taught my whole life to be careful as a woman, to play it safe as a woman, right? Not to take big risks. That's not the message that we get as girls growing up. I don't know. That's not the message that I got. I got a message of you're special, or you can have what you want, or you're unique. But risk taking was something that boys did. They took physical risks. You know, they were encouraged to be physical, to use their bodies, to put themselves in positions that might be a little bit dangerous or adventurous. But women, we weren't really brought up with that. So this fear of making mistakes is even bigger for the women that I know in my life who are building businesses than the men. They have their fear comes from a slightly different place. They mask themselves a lot of times as a fear of failure, but it's all about worthiness in the end. It's all about worthiness. The masculine wound is different than the feminine wound. But this is our opportunity as women to begin to become comfortable with taking actions and taking risks, to jumping, to leaping into the possibility of a plot twist. You know, the twist can come at any turn. But as women entrepreneurs, we have to build that capacity in ourselves. And we need support to do it. It's vital and it's essential. So that's why I created Worth to Wealth. That's why I have that program. That's what the women in the program are experiencing. Annabella has mentioned it already. And I'll be sharing some stories soon about the women who are going through the program. We're just halfway through, and people are having the most massive breakthroughs ever because they're getting to the root, and then they're learning how to take action and to trust themselves. And when you can trust yourself, when the plot twist comes, you can be like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't expect that. But I trust that I know that I can figure this out. I trust that I'm good enough, that I'm smart enough, that I'm talented or capable enough, and I can come through this. That's what you can start to trust. My dog is eating my chair. Leo, come here. Don't do that. Don't eat that chair. So right now, you guys, having a puppy and running a business, it's actually a lot more challenging than I thought that it would be. Leo, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my God, he's totally destroying this antique chair right now. So right now in my business, or right now, actually, sorry, I'm distracted with the dog. Right now we are pre-enrolling for Worth to Wealth. So what does that mean? That means that we are opening the doors just to the members of this community. And we are offering some really special and exciting offers as part of joining early. So that is something that we have just opened up this week. We already have a few women signed up for our April program, which starts in the second week of April. And I am super excited about it. It's going to be amazing. This group that's going through right now is incredible. It's far exceeded my expectations. And I know that if you are curious about it, that it's worth a phone call. It's worth getting on the phone and learning more about it just to see if it's the right fit. I don't know if it's going to be the right fit for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But so I can tell you a little bit about it. Worth to Wealth is a 90-day program. It's a 90-day group experience. It's sort of like a mastermind meets coaching meets subconscious reprogramming. There's nothing else out there like this. Nobody's doing anything like this. And I created it because I saw this gap in the market. It's either buy a course and figure it out yourself and get lumped into a group with 1,000 people on Facebook, which is totally overwhelming, or it's pay $20,000, $30,000 for a private coach, or get enrolled into a super high-end mastermind, or figure it all out yourself. And when you're starting a business, you need something that is both affordable and that also is really impactful. And you want hands-on support. You don't want someone to just be like, here, go watch these videos and post a couple comments in a Facebook group and maybe I'll answer, or maybe I won't. You want somebody who's actually walked the path and who can give you the skills and teach you what you need to know and help you avoid unnecessary plot twists in your business, because they are avoidable, some of them. Some of them are not, but some of the things we can actually help you not do, like what I did with my website in a weekend project, which is launching it on social media without a proper plan. So the Worth to Wealth experience is a combination of rapid transformational therapy, where we actually do subconscious reprogramming work. It's a combination also of coaching. So that's the conscious work. So we're going to take those new beliefs that you create about yourself through the rapid transformational therapy and teach you how to integrate them into your life and your business so that you can show up more powerfully and consistently for yourself. And then finally, we have business mentorship. And that comes in the form of doing these practices that are called weekly yes moves. So you guys have heard about the yes games by now. That all came from Worth to Wealth, which is really your opportunity to do something called action learning or experiential learning. And what that means is that you actually learn how to do something and then you go out and do it right away, immediately, within 48 hours. So you'll get a video, you'll get some tools, exact worksheets, for example, and then you have an assignment to go execute. And you're doing that with a group of other women who are all doing the same thing at the same time, pushing their edges. So for example, last week in Worth to Wealth, all of the women who are part of the tribe created their signature experience. And there were a lot of rules around creating their signature experience. But by the time the week was over, everyone knew exactly what they were selling. Everyone has a clear offer, a clear price point. And in fact, 2 or 3 of them have already sold it. And for most of them, the price is double, triple, or even in some cases 10x what they were charging. We've had women who have already made their money back in the program after just the first couple of weeks. And now they're accelerating their growth because they finally have something that they are inspired to go out and talk about. They don't feel like they're selling. They believe in this wonderful creation that they know is going to help change other people's lives. So that's just one example. There are so many stories that I could share with you about Worth to Wealth and some of the things that the women are experiencing there. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to copy and paste the URL so that if you are interested, you can learn about it. You can go to the website. Here you go. I'm just going to drop this in. You can go to the website and you can check it out. Okay, there, I think it just posted. Did it just post? Yeah. It's jessgeist.com/Worth to Wealth. There's some more information there. I have a video there for you to watch. There's some more details about the program. And then from there, you can sign up to have a call with me. And on that call, what we'll do is we'll talk about your business. We'll explore where you are, what's going on, what do you think you need, what's holding you back. And if it seems like Worth to Wealth is something that could be a fit for you, we'll talk about that and discuss the next step. And if it's not, then at the very least, you'll walk away from that call with some more clarity around what's keeping you stuck and the kind of support you actually do need. And I'll provide resources or other guiding light to help you get to the next level in your business. So at the very least, you and I get to know each other better. You get some more information about what you can do, and then possibly you'll be able to join an experience that can accelerate your growth and help you move through your fear. So I am super excited to talk to any of you guys. If you have questions about Worth to Wealth, you can always hit me up on Messenger too. I'd be happy to chat. And then most likely they'll just say, hey, let's just schedule a call and we'll get on the phone and talk more about it and get to know each other a little bit better. So thank you all. Come here, you devil dog. You guys, here he is. Say hi, Leo. Say hi. Look how big he's getting. Look how big he is now. Anybody saw him in the big? Oh gosh, he needs to go for a walk. He is just being a terror right now. So thank you everybody for watching. Ooh, you see BB. Thank you for watching me just struggle with my dog for the last hour. I loved having this conversation with you guys. Annabella says you have to purchase a pair. Worth to Wealth is awesome. Oh, Dina, thank you. Oh, I'm so happy it surpassed your expectations, sister. Yeah, if you guys, Annabella, Dina, I don't know if you'd be open to it, but if people have questions about Worth to Wealth, can they hit you up? I know sometimes you can hear it from me, but it's way better to hear it from the people who are experienced. Hey, stop biting me. Stop biting me. Don't you bite me. So I love you guys, and I'm so happy that you joined today. And like I said, this series is going to be going on for the next few weeks. So I'm going to be asking more questions from you about what you want to talk about next. Today, like I said, series, and my Siri went off. How funny is that? So today was all about making mistakes, but I want to know from you what other fears are present for you in your business, and what do you want to talk about? I have ideas based on our conversations in the past and what I see, but I want to know from you what's relevant. How can we tailor a discussion that actually meets your needs and can really help you overcome something that might be present for you right now in your life that's a fear? Is it a fear of rejection? Is it a fear of raising your rates? Is it a fear of asking for support from your friends and family? What are you feeling trapped up by in your little mind? And how can we help you get through it? And if you are watching this after the fact, please go forward and comment and contribute your thoughts to this conversation. I want to know what you think. And if you have advice, if you have tools, ladies watching now or commenting later, that could be helpful for other people to move through their fear, things that have worked for you in the past, things that might be helpful in this topic around making mistakes, then please share them. These are just some of the things that work for me, but I want to know what works for you too. This is a tribe and a community. So as we head out here, I'd love to know just in the comments if you could put one word that describes how you feel after this conversation. One word that describes how you're feeling at the end of this conversation today, just so I can feel into the energy of the group and let me know what we're walking away with. So what's your one word that you're leaving that kind of describes how you're feeling now as you walk away at the end of this conversation? Look, maybe guys, he just wanted to sit with me this whole time because now he's relaxed. Look. Oh, I'm a teddy bear terror. I'm a terror bear. I'm a terror bear. Is that what you wanted? Did you want to be in my lap this whole time? I think he did. Guys. So what's your one word? You're welcome, Marley. You're welcome, sister. What's your one word, guys? Tell me what's your one word. Put it in the comments. Leo and I are waiting. Yay! We're so happy that you watched. Thank you so much for joining. We love you guys. I love you guys so much. I love this group so much, and I'm so grateful for you, for everything that you do, for joining the lives, for contributing your thoughts, for supporting each other, for just being freaking generally amazing. So yeah, put your comments on the side. Let me know what's the one word that describes how you're feeling right now at the end of the conversation. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Stay tuned for the next Real Talk. It's going to be next Wednesday at the exact same time. Bring your lunch, bring your coffee. If you're an early drinker, bring a glass of wine, whatever it is. And we'll chat more about another topic, which I haven't decided is what it's going to be yet. So that's why I'm looking for your opinion. Tell me, what else are you wanting to talk about? What else are you feeling afraid about? And how can we support you? So I will see you next Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go check out jessgeist.com to learn more about Worth to Wealth if you're looking for help overcoming your fear and taking massive action in your business alongside a group of amazing women who are doing the same thing. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Say bye, Leo.